You're up.
All right, everybody, we have a update for you on the shower and thunderstorm activity that's going through northwest Arkansas and soon to be going through the River Valley. Meteorologist Zach Scott and meteorologist Stephen Elmore here with an update. All right, so the shower and thunderstorm activity has not been severe warned as it's come through northwest Arkansas, but the criteria for that is either together or one or the other. 58, or usually we just say 60-mile-per-hour wind gust or higher, and the potential for quarter-size hail. Sometimes if you have one or the other, then you can get a severe thunderstorm warning. We haven't had either one of those. That's why we didn't have a severe thunderstorm warning. But, I mean, we were about as close as you could get. We did have two separate 53-mile-per-hour wind gusts at X and A. And so far, we've had a 30-mile-per-hour wind gust reported at Drake Field. Now, we get an update every 5 minutes, so we should be getting that update here in a minute. And meteorologist Stephen Elmore will tell us what the winds have been, have gotten up to near and on the south side of Fayetteville. But we're looking at this line of storms right here, where we've got the brighter reds and oranges showing up. You got the heavy rain. We got some lightning. Maybe just to the untrained eye, you're looking at that saying, okay, that's not too bad. We'll get some heavy rain in here. But when we look at velocity, and you can turn velocity on, Stephen, we'll see this bright green line. That's the leading edge of some strong winds. We've been tracking this since the overnight hours when this cluster of storms was up near Kansas City, dropped all the way south at times, being warned for 60, 70-plus mile-per-hour winds. So it does have a history just in Benton and at least Benton County of producing some 50-plus mile-per-hour winds. I think we're seeing a lot of 30 to 40-mile-per-hour winds within this line. So once this line passes overhead, you're going to see some really dark clouds coming your way, and they're going to be moving very quickly, and likely a shelf cloud is what we call it, where it looks like the clouds extend a little bit lower, closer to the surface. Once that passes over your head, that's when you're going to notice this rain-cooled air really start to pick up. And you still see the bright colors all the way back for quite a while, so the gusty winds will stick around for a little bit, but the strongest winds will be near and just behind this leading edge. So again, we're likely seeing 30 to 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming out of Washington County now, heading into the Boston Mountains, and then getting into Crawford County. And but there's these bright spots mixed in there. That's where you could maybe see a few 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I still think the threat is there. Stephen, have we had an update on the Fayetteville, on the Drake wind speeds yet?
Let's go ahead and check it out. The last update we got was down to 28, and that's the last update we had. So we had 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts, then it peaked up to 28. Earlier, though, like you mentioned, we had some 40s, we had some 50s mixed in there. The latest trend from XNA is at least a little bit lower than what we had before, but still 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts, pushing things around outside.
Yeah, so I think it's easy to say for sure you could have some 30 to 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and that's why we haven't seen severe thunderstorm warnings come out for this. But again, some of these brighter colors, there could be, and we saw that with XNA, there could be a 40 or 50-mile-per-hour wind gust or two mixed in there. Okay, let's go back to reflectivity, and let's just kind of do a broad picture here. Again, we want to give you an update on the shower and thunderstorm activity, nothing severe. We are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 a.m. for northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Strongest storms missed us just to the west, the western edge of this, out towards the Tulsa area, more into northeast Oklahoma. As the storms kind of came in, the western edge started to, it was initially moving towards us, started to shift a little bit more to the south and west. So the strongest storms are out there, and that's where you have the potential for those 60 to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. For us, again, we're watching this leading edge pushing through Benton, Washington, Madison counties now. And you could get some 30, 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts and a potential of a few stronger gusts up near 50 miles per hour. Much needed rainfall here with this. These stronger storms are mostly out towards the west, but they are taking a little southeasterly direction here. A little bit of a turn towards Haskell, Latimer, LaFleur counties. We'll keep an eye on that. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning that does account for some of far northwestern Sequoia County. New thunderstorm warning there for Okmulgee heading towards the I-40 corridor. And again, we'll watch that to see if that moves towards Haskell and Latimer counties. Stephen, I'll let you query that and see if what the actual warning is for that. Just something that we're looking down the line at, okay, let's say that this tracks a little more southeast towards Haskell, Latimer, maybe LaFleur County. What is the current warning there? Yeah,
that's going for moving south at 50 miles per hour, but it's producing wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour. So further out towards the west, that's where majority of the energy is right now, producing those strongest storms. No warnings here, but just to our neighbors out to the west, that's
Very
where
close.
that leading edge is going to be. And we can't rule out that this line that we're watching push through Washington into Crawford County could start to produce some of those stronger winds.
Yeah, it could certainly pulse back up. Even some of these thunderstorms out ahead of it could have some gusty winds, a little lightning. Some of the thunderstorms earlier this morning out ahead of it back in northeast Oklahoma were pulsing up and down with some pockets of hail, but since then we haven't really seen that happen in parts of western or northwestern Arkansas. So certainly a strong storm there. This had warnings when it first came in northeast Oklahoma out of Kansas and was moving towards Tulsa for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So it's pulsed up and down. It's had a lot of severe warnings, and currently it has a warning for 80-mile-per-hour winds. But yeah, it's been on that higher end, 70 to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That's the definition of knocking on the doorstep right there. It's out towards the west. As of right now, that is not going to be tracking towards Fort Smith and surrounding areas, but we are going to get some showers and thunderstorms to move in. And again, we're watching this line right there. That's where we have the leading edge of some strong wind gusts. We can go back to velocity here, and that's what we want to update you guys on. We're getting a new radar scan. Again, this is moving pretty quick. It's mostly been moving about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So, I mean, it doesn't hang around long. Moving southeast. And at what speed did you put it?
That's at 50 for that last warning.
Okay. Moving into the Van Buren area around 827. What we're timing out here is the leading edge of those gusty winds. The rain and the lightning will pick up too, but the main threat that we're timing out here for you is the potential for at least 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts with a few gusts up to 50 miles per hour kind of mixed in. Those stronger winds we were just talking about, those are out towards the west, as Stephen was saying. Fort Smith around 829, you can see those stronger winds picking up. Barling 837, Greenwood 847, Paris 850, Boonville 859. Much needed rainfall moving through northwest Arkansas and the River Valley here this morning, impacting our morning commute at the very least with a lot of rainfall. There's going to be ponding on the roads. There's likely going to be some accidents. We've already had it in northwest Arkansas on I-49 as the heavy rain started to come down. And I imagine this is going to be 60 to 70 mile per hour wind for the severe warning here.
Let's check that out. Yeah, if you're watching us, we just got that new warning into Sequoia in northern LaFleur County. That's going to go out until 9 a.m., and that's for 70-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
So Sallisaw down to Gore area, we're going to time that out here in a second, Zach. I'm going to draw that out and see.
How fast is it moving?
That's moving at 45 miles per hour towards south.
Yeah, we can just do that area there if you want. So that's moving south, southeast. It could clip parts of Fort Smith. And again, we've got the radar on. Still, the winds here, Crawford back towards northern Sequoia County, they're showing up a little brighter right now. Those winds will likely get brighter. The winds are moving to the radar. So that's good for us, where we'll get a better sampling of the lower and mid levels of the atmosphere versus some of the higher levels. Okay, Stephen's going to track that out. New severe thunderstorm warning if you're just joining us for Sequoia County into Haskell and northern LaFleur County, and just to the west of Fort Smith. And Stephen went ahead and put the Fort Smith area in there. So again, Gore 816, Vian 820, Sallisaw 825, potential 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. These winds do get stronger the further west you go. So the further west you live in Sequoia County into Haskell, Latimer counties, maybe western LaFleur County, those areas have the highest chance to see some strong winds here over the next hour or so. Arcoma 839, Keota around 845. So severe thunderstorm warning for Sallisaw down towards around Podo, Spiro, and then out towards Stigler. We're watching for the potential of some damaging wind gusts. They're out towards the west right now, moving this way. Again, it's moving toward the radar site, so we're going to get a better sampling of the winds in the lower and mid levels of the atmosphere. Can we zoom back out as well? We can leave it there on reflectivity, or excuse me, velocity. That bright green line right there moving towards Mountainburg, moving out of Washington County now into Crawford. 30, 40 mile per hour winds possible here, maybe a few gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And then we're seeing it move into the higher elevations of Madison County there, the Boston Mountains, southern areas of the county, seeing those 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe even a little bit stronger. You go up on those higher ridges of the Boston Mountains and you could easily get the stronger end of these winds the higher up you go. So at least 30, 40 mile per hour winds likely in the Boston Mountains, with maybe even a little bit better chance for some 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. Let's go back to reflectivity if we can, Stephen. Again, meteorologist Zach Scott here with meteorologist Stephen Elmore, and we are tracking out some showers and thunderstorms. You can see clearly here, this is the strongest part of the line. You back out towards the west into eastern Oklahoma. It is moving more southeast. potential for 60, 70 mile per hour winds. Have a little higher potential for areas of western Sequoia County and then into Haskell County. Doesn't look as impressive there, but don't be fooled. There are some gusty winds, and those winds will stay pretty breezy, 20, 30 miles per hour after the leading edge of the gusty winds pushes through your area. Starting to see some isolated showers trying to develop there in parts of Crawford County too. I think we're going to see that outflow boundary start to show up a little bit better here too, Stephen.
Yeah, so while you're talking about that area, Crawford, Franklin County, northern Sebastian County, where Zach's talking about, was just issued for a special weather statement. What that is it's just below the severe limit, so it's peaking up around 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. So we have that warning just to the west of it, and across Crawford, Franklin, and northern Sebastian, that line's starting to pick up as well, producing some of those stronger winds, not up to the severe limit just yet, but it's starting to pick up some of that energy. So if you live in the Mountainburg area down to Fort Smith, Clarksville, we could see some stronger winds move within the next hour or so. Yeah,
definitely want to watch this one. This area, the line of storms looks pretty gnarly there, moving southeast. You can see the brighter colors with the reflectivity. The lightning's been pulsing up, so everything on radar showing us that that is certainly the strongest area of storms and does not show any sign of weakening whatsoever. So western areas of Sequoia County, really anywhere in Sequoia County, expect some strong winds to be picking up here in the I-40 corridor in the next 30 minutes max, and then that's eventually going to be making its way towards Haskell County and then even LaFleur County. And we'll have to continue to watch a little bit further out towards the west, Eufaula, those areas, even stronger potential for winds 70 to 80 miles per hour. So hopefully the strongest winds stay just out towards the west, and we can get the, maybe have, again, we're going to get some gusty winds, but maybe get the lower end of those winds. Let's go to northwest Arkansas. Again, a lot of rain just came through, a lot of gusty winds came through, still pretty steady shower activity across Benton, Washington, Madison, Carroll counties, even into Delaware and Adair counties in eastern Oklahoma, but nothing severe. The gustiest winds are off towards the south now, really moving into the northern areas of the River Valley, starting to, again, continue to push through the Boston Mountains, maybe start making their way down in elevation towards the river. But if you're watching us wondering what's going on, again, some gusty winds did come through northwest Arkansas, below severe limits, but still up there. We had some gusts at 53 miles per hour were the strongest ones, and we had a few of them, and still several 40 mile per hour gusts. It was about a windy 30-minute period for X and A, still kind of gusty across northwest Arkansas. Have we had any new updates with Drake Field? Any stronger winds over the 30 mile per hour gusts that we had?
Let's take a look at Drake real quick. 39 was the last update.
Okay, so it shows you there. Again, easily, I think, you're getting some 30 to 40 mile per hour winds anywhere from that leading edge. So once that rain cold air starts to pick up, you'll notice that north wind. And then beyond that, for at least maybe 20, 30 minutes, you could still see some gusts over 30, maybe up to 40 miles per hour. So it's going to look a little scary out there with the dark clouds this morning, the heavy rain, low visibility, and then certainly the trees are going to be moving around. But right now, this is just some healthy, strong thunderstorm winds that are coming through. They're not severe for northwest Arkansas, but as they push into the River Valley, we'll just continue to watch it. You can just drag this a little bit further south right there, and we'll look at the storms coming into the higher elevations of Franklin County, Johnson County, Crawford County. Again, this leading edge of the rain right there, that's where we have 30, 40 mile per hour winds with the potential for some 50 mile per hour gusts. And again, it's going to stay a little breezy for a little while, even as the leading edge of the rain and the winds push through your area. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for the western areas of the River Valley, just to the west of Fort Smith and Van Buren, but it's getting close there. We're seeing the storms continue to pick up in intensity and potential to even see those winds picking up. We can look at the winds here a little bit closer in Sequoia County. So you're seeing the brighter greens. You're going from nothing here to that sharp line. That's where we have that leading edge of the winds, and it is cutting back into Sequoia County now. So winds are picking up 20, 30 miles per hour, I would expect, in far northern areas of Sequoia County, and then we'll have to continue to watch and try to see what the winds are doing out towards the west. Anything from the National Weather Service on any observations?
I was just checking Tulsa's chat. Nothing in the way of communications of any spotters out there or anything, but they are talking about how definitely, like you're saying, Zach, stronger winds off towards the west, but as it's building towards the east, we have that special weather statement into Crawford and Franklin County. So we're starting to pick up some energy here as it crosses close to I-40 now. We drew it out earlier. I'm going to give a little bit more of a wider angle here. Again, we're going to stretch from western Sequoia County through Franklin County. Here, I'll redraw that real quick because this is where those strongest winds are right now. Even though it's not all severely warned, you got anywhere from those 40 up to 70-mile-an-hour winds, especially close to Sequoia County. That's where the strongest winds are. Back towards the east into Crawford and Franklin County, anywhere between 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds. That's going to move some things around that could cause some damage, especially where those 70-mile winds are associated. So we look at this latest timing, moving south at around 50 miles per hour. Van Buren around 8:30, Fort Smith around 8:31. So about 15 minutes or so, you'll probably see those dark clouds just to the north. Barling close to 8:40, Pacola close to 8:45, Paris close to 8:50.
I just looked at the winds just off the screen. That's where the strongest severe thunderstorm warning is this morning out of the Tulsa area, Stephen. And again, it's being warned for what, 80-mile-per-hour winds. Looks every bit of it possible, at least in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. The storm's certainly carrying some strong winds with it. Is it making it down to the surface? I hope not. Again, out towards Henrietta, Chakota areas out there, in a little bit further into eastern Oklahoma. Some very strong winds. Those are just to the west. Our severe thunderstorm warning is right here, and that one is for 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. You've got that bright green line showing up very clearly here. That's our gust front. That's the leading edge of this rain-cooled air that is racing through northwest Arkansas and moving into the river valley here, likely into the I-40 corridor. In the next 30 minutes to 45 minutes, I would say. Again, right here, our main threat that we're watching for, 30, 40 mile per hour winds with some gusts maybe up to around 50 miles per hour. So we're watching that. Out towards the west, storms are getting a little bit stronger. And we haven't had any reports of damaging wind gusts, but the threat goes up that you have a little bit better shot to maybe see some 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. This warning out here, again, just to the west of Fort Smith for I-40 through Sequoia County is, again, for winds potentially up to 70 miles per hour. So you're seeing that leading edge continue off towards the west, getting a little bit closer. What time is it, Stephen? Because we'll have another live cut-in coming.
8:20 is the time, so we got to wrap things up here close pretty soon. But I want to zoom in here and get some communities, in case you don't know exactly where you are on our maps when we're zoomed out like that. Brushy, you got those strong straight-line winds coming in right now. Sallisaw, you're down the line, down to Muldrow. Cedarville, you're going to see some strong winds very shortly. Those are going to continue to push off towards the south into Alma, close to Fort Smith as well. Mountainburg, you're probably seeing some very dark clouds moving in right now. Those strong winds capable of producing up to 50 mile per hour winds. That's what's coming down the line. If we move to Franklin County, Watalula, and eventually in Ozark, that's where this line is starting to pick up some energy, starting to produce some of those stronger winds. Even though it's below the severe limits right now, that's what's coming down the line.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Again, we still got some gusty winds back in northwest Arkansas. Here's the leading edge of the heavy rain, and at least 30 to 40 mile per hour winds moving out of the higher elevations of Crawford, Franklin, Johnson. Those are going to be dropping down towards the I-40 corridor. Still gusty, still could have some 20, 30 mile per hour gusts mixed in with the steady rainfall across Benton, Washington, Madison, Carroll County's main concern. And you can see it right there, the stronger storm just on the southwest edge of this cluster of storms. This is the area that has the potential to have some stronger winds. Okmulgee, again, maybe seeing 70 to 80 mile per hour winds out there. And then we have the threat for 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. We're seeing the gusty winds and the heavy rain coming into the I-40 corridor if you live near or around I-40 in western and northwestern areas of Sequoia County. We're going to continue to track these showers and storms. Could they strengthen? It's possible. So this gusty winds likely will continue into and through the Fort Smith area, and of course, we'll keep you updated. Okay, we're going to go ahead and end this Facebook Live for you. And we'll be doing live cut-ins on your CBS station here for the next hour. And we'll continue to track these storms and let you know where the strongest winds and the heaviest rain are pushing all morning long.